A lot of people already think we're being tracked too much as it is. Well, now all of a sudden we're seeing a more movement towards a digital ID. Is that good? Is that bad? We're going to talk about the pros and cons of that, mostly cons. Hopefully we can gain some wisdom to decide what's best for our family as we move forward in this world that looks like they want to take care of us or control us. You decide. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. It is a rainy, nasty morning. You're actually sitting inside of a vehicle because I don't need you to get rained on. So this video won't be as long as some of our other videos. But I want to talk about something that's getting a lot more traction now, and it should make us worry just a little bit. But really, the goal is to build wisdom from what we're seeing, and hopefully we can do something to change it before it really takes place. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. We are a family of 8 trying to do what's wise and best on our farm and our homestead to ultimately impact people in a good, positive way. If you like this content, please go down here, press subscribe, check out our other playlist, and hopefully some of this will help you. Now let's jump right into it. The Senate Committee on Homeland Security just moved forward with a digital ID. We've been hearing a lot about a digital ID for a long time, but is it right for us? So one step closer in the digital ID. It's meant to help us, it's meant to make life easier on us and make it more secure for us to do business. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, all those things absolutely sound like that is it's the very opposite of what I was thinking that it may do. Are we secure with a digital ID? Are we more trackable to where they know where we're at and what we're doing versus actually having the freedoms to make it easier? And really, is this for our good? Pros and cons on a digital ID and also a digitizing of money. That's really what it comes down to, is digitizing your health, digitizing your money, digitizing where you're at, what you're doing at all times to make it easier for you. Now, the pro to any of this is always ease of access. You can buy on Amazon with one click. You can swipe your card with one click. You can literally do anything and everything on the internet with basically your Face ID, your thumbprint, or your digitized money, such as your currency that's already online. Those things do make life easier, and we're all guilty of using some of those. But does that actually make it better for us to do? Do we actually want more digital ID, or do we want more of a digital footprint? Proponents for this already say, well, you're already digitized enough. Just as I said, with your Face ID, with your digital print, with virtual reality, with all these things that we're already doing, pretty much you're already digitized as it is. However, decentralized money such as cash, decentralized transactions, and buying from merchants that don't require a card, it still allows us to have some of those freedoms that sometimes we may want. We may want things private. We may want to buy from someone without government intervention or government knowledge. Now, they say that it's for our security and for our safety. As I said, it does make life easier, but are they really looking out for our safety? Let's jump into some of the things that I believe that we're going to see the cons of a digital ID. Let's think about what happened to the Canadian truckers. A lot of their funds were frozen. Let's talk about all the people where they've got pinged on their phones to where people know exactly where they're at. Let's see how different banks and different things like PayPal, like we talked about in the last video, they're freezing funds. So when we take that to a bigger scale to where we're digitizing our whole life, not just in financials, but maybe our medical. What if we're wanting this treatment and we're older and we want a knee surgery, and they're like, well, no, you're a little too old for that. It's not going to help your success to live. What if it's some things where you don't want certain treatment for your child, but all of a sudden the government says, no, that's part of what you're supposed to do. And we see because of the digitized printing, or we see because your digital life, we see that there's some things that are not being done. So we need to make sure you're getting those things done for your child. Do we really want more government intervention in that way, or more of a big brother governance around us where everything that we do or don't do, the government knows? But here's some more problems. Let's jump into some of the things that we've seen with hacking. Now we have to have an EPN to make sure that we're safe on the internet. We have to worry about having title insurance because our deeds and titles are now online. We have to put certain shields to make sure that we can't be compromised with our financial institutions online because we're transacting. We have two-factor verifications on every password you have, every app you have. You have to do 2 or 3 different ways to get your password in. So you get a password in, then they send you a notification. Then you have to put your cell phone number in or put your password in that they send you or a passcode in. And I'm not saying those are not good or bad things. I'm just saying, why are we now wanting to put more of our life in a digitized form when we're already seeing ways that can be hacked? Russia and Putin has already said World War III will not be fought with tanks and missiles. They probably fight with ones and zeros, which means there may be ways that we can just hack into your system and cause you implosion. There may be ways that we can use the digital issues that occur that we can cause a war, maybe cyber attacks. Look at the pipeline that was attacked a few years back, cyber attack. So if we're wanting to digitize more, don't you think that makes us a little bit more vulnerable, not secure? And I know I'll get a little kickback because people go down to our descriptions and see all these things you can purchase with your debit card or credit card. I have no problem with having online banking. I have no problem with having some things of our life digitized because it does make ease of access. I like Amazon, I'm sorry, I do. It's easy to get some of the things I need, especially when I need it if I can't get it local. And when you live in a small town like we do, you can't get some things local. But the thing is this, if our whole life is that way, say for instance all of a sudden you're stockpiling or you're going to buy a lot of your food and your family of 8 like us. So if we're buying a lot of stuff, all of a sudden we're using our digital ID for those things. What's to say, they say, you know what, I don't know if you need to be purchasing that much. We saw one of the major credit card companies just a few weeks ago come out and say it was going to mark sales for ammo and guns. Well, what's to say that's not going to happen with digital ID, where they're saying, well, this person's buying a little bit too much medicine. This person is buying a little too much food. This person is buying a little too much guns. Let's hold off on that. They don't need to buy that much. Let's hit their card. Let's freeze their assets. This guy's speaking out against things that we believe in, and this, he's speaking out against the government. Let's freeze his card. Happened to the Canadian truckers. So the more we digitize, the more risk we may have for hacking. The more risk we may have of not security, but control of whoever is actually over the digitized movement. When we see the World Economic Forum pushing against beef and against meat, against oil, against gas, and they're the ones that's really the biggest proponents of a digital ID. They're the ones that actually help implement the system that we're trying to pass now. And did you hear it was coming from the Department of Homeland Security? Well, I don't know about you. The Department of Homeland Security, I would hope, would want to keep us safe. But it seems like they're the ones a lot of times that may be not looking out for our best interest. Some of the policies they've enacted really have maybe been a detriment on us and not helpful. But they'll call it in the name of emergency or security. So is digitized ID something that you could look forward to? Personally, for me, I don't mind having a little digitized part of our life. I like talking to you on YouTube. I like using my debit card online or when I have to buy something that I can't buy local. But I don't want my medical or my whole life in a digitized form. I like having a decentralized way of paying for things, which is cash. Now say cash goes away. Say we look at a digital dollar. We may be going back to a bartering system. Decentralized in some ways are very good. It helps us stay honest. It helps us be able to have some freedoms that we may lose if everything we have goes more centralized. Remember, America and the world is made up of men, and we're going to fail, and we're not all knowing. We don't know everything that needs to go on. So sometimes people take power and don't use it in the best way. So in a perfect world, digitized currency and digitized ID may be wonderful. But remember, folks, we are not in a perfect world, and ultimately there's going to be someone there in power that wants to abuse their power, which may cause you and I more problems. So a quick recap: because of hacking, because of security concerns, because of control, I don't think digitized IDs are the best for us, and I would hope that you would agree, and I would hope that you would start telling your senators and your representatives this is not what we need. We have a big election coming up, and this is being pushed out of committee and pretty much just going to go on the Senate and House of Representatives floor, I would imagine. And it's going to be battled and it's going to be pressed. Now, are we going to see this in our lifetime? Absolutely. But the more we push back now will help us keep money and cash and decentralized currency and a bartering system and more freedom for a little bit longer. And I think that's what we need to do. Gain wisdom from what we see going on around us. Sometimes, again, our news is dangling something in our face, and really behind the scenes, maybe the World Economic Forum is pushing digital ID. Maybe our medical records are getting more digitized. Remember, we're human. We're not a trackable being. We're not supposed to have chips in our head. So sometimes when we see these things coming out, it may not be for our benefit. It may be for our detriment. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the digital ID. Could it be good? Could it be bad? Give me your thoughts on it. It does worry me, but I always go back and say, you know what? No matter what I go through, I'm gonna try to gain wisdom. I'm gonna try to take care of my family. So let me know what you think. The world can throw some major events against us and can cause us to panic a little bit and have a little fear. Our hope and our assurance hopefully will be in something way more than what we can get on this earth. And of course, that would fall back on Jesus. So if anything through this video, two things I want you to learn. Gain wisdom and see the powers that be and how they may want to control you, but also fall back on the fact of your own wisdom and maybe seeking it from Christ. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless.